And welcome back to SportsZone. This is our NBA segment, Throwing It Up. I'm joined here by Justin. So there's been a lot of NBA news the past couple of weeks. We were off for spring break. We'll start off by talking about some major injuries that have happened in the league. The two of the marquee stars, both Steph Curry and Kyrie Irving, are injured. Justin, when you look at these two injuries, which player do you think is more important to the team, and which injury do you think will affect their team going into the playoffs?
Definitely the Kyrie injury, mostly because Kyrie's has been the offense for Boston. They struggle without him. They're also missing Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford's in and out due to his age from time to time. Just in the playoffs, I don't think they'll be able to win a first-round series, especially if they go up against, say, Philly or Indiana without Kyrie being close to 100% because he does so much for them and he needs to do so much for them. Curry's injury is pretty significant. I don't know how much time he missed. He'll be reevaluating in 3 weeks, which means he can come back in 3 weeks or maybe a little longer. But if Durant's healthy, Thompson's healthy, Draymond, they could at least win a first-round series without him. I have no qualms or worries about that. Deeper into the playoffs, if they go up against Portland or an Oklahoma City team without Curry, yeah. But I think he'll be back before then. But definitely the Kyrie injury moving forward into the playoffs is the biggest one because they're just so vulnerable without him.
Yeah, obviously two very significant injuries, but Golden State Warriors already have so much superstar firepower. The Celtics rely so much on Kyrie Irving on the offensive end, so that will definitely be interesting to see how those two players recover and how they're looking going into the playoffs. But another superstar that has garnered attention over the past week is Kawhi Leonard. His injury has been very mysterious this year. We didn't know if he was going to come back, not going to come back. Apparently, there was a players-only meeting where they were pretty much begging Kawhi Leonard to come back. So, Justin, this is a very un-Spurs-like situation. Usually the Spurs, they know what they're doing. They have everything under control. But this Kawhi injury has gone out of control for them. So, what do you make of this whole Kawhi Leonard situation and whether he should come back or not?
I don't know. It's really weird because the reason he hasn't come back is he hasn't been cleared by his own personal doctors. But the Spurs say he's been cleared by them since December. So somebody's either diagnosing him completely wrong or he's just in an incredible amount of pain. I'm sure there's some truth in between there. I'm sure it has to do with a pain threshold, and I'm sure the diagnoses are somewhat skewed. But it's weird mostly because the summer is a summer where he's going to go into his final year of his contract. He can get the supermax of 210 or so plus million. And I think the question is, are you the Spurs? Are you going to offer him that? Because he's clearly worth it. When he's healthy, the second best player in the world, in my opinion, outside of LeBron James. And if you do offer it and he doesn't accept it, you got to trade him. Or since you're the Spurs and Tim Duncan's taking less money and Mono's taking less money and Tony, are you going to offer him significantly less because this is the Spurs way? And, it's right now it's not a big deal because they weren't going to win the championship with or without him, especially the way Houston's been looking now with Golden State, barring their health, is probably going to win it no matter what. In the summer, it's like where it's really going to be tested with the extension and him going into the final year of his contract. I can't see him passing him $200 million if it's offered to him, but I really don't know. It's really weird. We'll probably find more out after the season when exit meetings and stuff, and he's probably going to be speaking to the media a little bit more. So We'll see.
Yeah, certainly an interesting situation. If you're the Spurs right now, if you know Kawhi Leonard's not happy, you might want to think about trading him just because he's such a good player. So you don't want to see him leave for nothing. But like you said, tough to pass up $200 million. Definitely tough. But we'll also talk about a team in the East that have been surprising some people. The Philadelphia 76ers. I mean, everybody knows trust the process. They're a team that's been tanking for years. But now with Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid coming into their own, they've won 7 out of the last 10 games. So, Justin, do you think this 76ers team could possibly win a playoff series this year?
Yes. Yeah, they absolutely can. Especially if they get the 5 seed, they no doubt can. They'll be a tough test for any team that go against. Ben Simmons is not a rookie. He is, a seasoned vet the way he plays. He does it without a jump shot. I mean, I've never seen a player not shoot at least free throw line extended. But he doesn't need to. It's pretty impressive. His passing ability is off the charts. Joel Embiid is on course to play more games than Kawhi Leonard this season, which is crazy to think about. Like, he's on pace to play more combined games than Gordon Hayward, Kawhi Leonard, and DeMarcus Cousins, which is really, really crazy thinking about it. When he's on the court, he's one of the best centers in the league, one of the best big men. He's a phenom. You got J.J. Redick, Robert Covington spacing the floor. They're all young, all athletic. Brett Brown does a really good job of getting them to rest in a quarter. He doesn't just rest them once a half. He tries to do it 2 times during the half, so he manages the minutes very well. They go pretty deep with Bellinelli and Ilyasova. If they draw Cleveland as a 6 seed up against a 3, I could see that series going 6 games. I don't think they'll beat a Cleveland team. I don't think they'll even beat a Raptors team if they end up falling that low. But they're going to be really competitive. You really don't want to face this team in the playoffs. They're not going to be easy out. They're that good.
Yeah, definitely the Sixers surprising people this year. You mentioned Coach Brett Brown. I think he's an underrated coach, doesn't get enough credit. Obviously, he didn't have any players for previous years, which is why the team was so bad, but I think Brett Brown is a good coach and is a big reason why the Sixers are doing so well this year. And we'll end by talking about another team that has surprised some people out west, and that's the Portland Trailblazers. They went on a 12-game win streak. Damian Lillard playing out of his mind. He's maybe a guy, when we mention superstars in this league, that doesn't get mentioned enough. So Justin, when talking about Damian Lillard, is he an underrated player, a guy that we should mention more when we mention the best point guards in this league?
Absolutely. I mean, he does. I don't want to say he's a poor man's Curry, because he's really, really good, but he's also not Curry. But he does pretty much the exact same thing as Steph Curry. Curry just can shoot from half court if he wants to. I mean, he doesn't anymore, but if he wants to, he really can. I don't think Lillard has that range. But yeah, Damian Lillard is one of the best offensive point guards in the game. He does it on all 3 levels. He can do mid-range, 3-point, can get to the basket at will, operates a pick and roll like a savant. Him and CJ McCollum have finally kind of clicked in terms of, passing. They're far less stagnant than they were. They're relying on, the others, the Mo Harkless, the Joseph Nurkic of the world. They're also playing a lot better defense. That's probably the biggest key for them this year compared to last year, is they now have a top 10 defense along with a top 10 offense, which they didn't have. They were very poor defensively last year. CJ McCollum was a turnstile on defense last year. And then they're not having to play heavy minutes. Shabazz Napier finally turned into that player LeBron James thought he was going to be 4 or 5 years ago. You had Pat Connaughton from Notre Dame, who should probably be a Major League Baseball pitcher, shooting 3-pointers. Mo Harkless, like I said. Ed Davis is a quality backup big. They can just go 9 or 10 deep, and Coach Terry Stotts is just really managing the minutes well and got them playing really well on both sides of the ball, which has been a key to their success. Yeah,
definitely this Blazers team, a team that could surprise people in the playoff. They got a great team, and of course Damian Lillard playing out of his mind, unbelievable player, superstar point guard, and don't sleep on his rap game. He's also a pretty good rapper.
He's pretty good.
Absolutely.
Pretty good in 2K.
But that's all we have for this edition of Throwing It Up, and more SportsZone after this.